So
So,
hello everyone, welcome to my class of marketing environment. This is unit 2 of basics of marketing. The course code is 105 and I, Professor Amar Gupta, welcome everyone, those who are attending my session for the first time today in this virtual environment. As I can see, marketing environment plays a very crucial role in influencing the overall marketing strategies of any organization. Marketing environment not only influences the marketing strategy but also decides the destiny of any particular company in terms of profit, in terms of sales, in terms of competition. You need to consider your marketing environment. When you look at the syllabus of basics of marketing, the second unit covers the following points, which I'm going to read it out for you right now. So it starts with the concept of environment. We are going to understand what is an environment, then what are macro and micro level environment, then components and characteristics of environment, needs and trends, major forces which are impacting your macro and micro environment respectively. Then why do we analyze the marketing environment? That is how given in your syllabus. Then analyzing the political, economical, socio-cultural, technical and legal environmental forces. These are also called as the external environmental forces, and obviously the demographics. So in your unit 2 of basics of marketing, these are the points which are going to be covered. At any point of time, if you have any difficulty, you can use the chat box or you can just simply raise your hand virtually and I will definitely attend to your question. Through this particular unit 2, you will cover up the course outcome of understanding, that is the second part of Bloom's taxonomy, that talks about classifying the various components of the marketing environment of a firm and explain the same in detail. So let's proceed further and let us understand what marketing environment is all about. So these are the learning objectives of unit 2. One by one, we were going to understand what these learning objectives are. The first learning objective is describe the environmental forces that affects the company's ability to serve its customers. So here we are going to understand and describe which are the environmental forces that affect the company's overall nature of serving its customer or the company's overall potential of making any particular offer in the market. Then second is explain how changes in the demographic and economic environments affect the marketing decisions. We will also study as to how the changes in the demographic characteristics like age, gender, the subculture, the preferences of the customers, the taste of the customers are going to affect the overall company's marketing decisions. So this is very important. The third thing which we are going to study from this particular chapter is identification of the major trends in the firm's natural and technological environment. So what are the natural environmental forces or the factors as well as the technical environmental forces we are going to study in the unit 2. Then explain the key changes in the political and cultural environment, how the political and cultural environment affect the company's business. This is also we are going to study in unit 2. Then discuss how companies can react to the marketing environment. So these are the things which we are going to cover up in unit 2, and one by one let us discuss about the learning objectives through the content of this particular unit 2. So when we talk about marketing environment in a layman's language, if you would like to understand, layman language says that these are the environmental forces or these are simply the forces that directly and indirectly influence an organization's capability to undertake its business. For example, if you look at Maharashtra and consider the liquor manufacturers, the hard drink manufacturers, they cannot sell the liquor to below 24 years person in Maharashtra because of the rules and regulations which are prevailing in this particular state. In other state, the age of drinking the liquor is after 18, but in our state, if someone wants to drink a beer, the minimum permissible age is 21, and for the hard drink, it is 24. So, because of that reason, the companies cannot sell their product to such people, even if they have become eligible to give the vote, to cast the vote after 18 years. they have to wait until that particular permissible age to get that particular product from the market. The second example of political situation is of Tata Nano plant. Tata had decided to set up their plant facility for Tata Nano in West Bengal in the Singur district. Initially, the government of West Bengal they agreed to provide the land and all the support to the Tata company for setting up their plant facility in this Singur district of West Bengal. But later on, due to the government and other farmers' protest, the Tata had moved their entire plant facility from Singur to Sanand in Gujarat. This is just because of the political turmoil, the protest. Amid all the protests, Tata had failed to convince the particular farmers, and because of that, Tata company had shifted their entire plant facility from this particular West Bengal to Gujarat. So today, whatever business you are doing, it has been influenced by a lot of factors. And these factors or these forces are to be taken into consideration because sometimes they are beyond our control. And you have to adjust your business according to such kind of business activities, according to such kind of political, environmental, socio-cultural, and technological forces. The next point is marketing environment is the trading force operating in a marketplace over which a business has no direct control. As I just explained the example of Tata Nano, Tata had no clue to overcome from this situation. They were trying to convince the government as well as on the other side they were trying to convince the farmers. But ultimately, the farmers' protest could not allow them to continue their business in West Bengal. They had shifted their plant. Lot of other examples are there existing because of the technological forces or the technological upgradation. Lot of companies have faced huge competition from their competitors, and many companies have got vanished because of this cutthroat competition due to the technological evolution. Let's take an example of Nokia. They could not adapt their particular phone or the smartphones to that the next generation requirement. The next generation requirement was actually the Android based operating system phones, but they were still selling the Symbian operating system phones, and due to that they were phased out. They were totally thrown out of the particular market by the competitors. So these are the trading forces, political, economical situation, and many other forces. They sometimes either give the opportunity to the companies to do the business, or sometimes they create such hindrance for the companies that they could no longer do the business in that particular situation. Many such examples are there wherein because of the political support, because of the legal support, the companies have come to that particular place, and most of the companies have set up their plant facilities. The best example is of Gujarat. Gujarat had set up a model before all the country and all the states persons just because they were very supportive to opening of business and providing all the necessary infrastructure support to such kind of manufacturers and to such kind of capitalists for doing the business. On the other side, if you look at Bihar, that is a state which is still suffering from huge poverty. There was a time when Bihar and Chhattisgarh were not being separated. By that time, this particular state was rich in all the minerals. But the moment this separation happened, Bihar has once again emerged as one of the most poorest state in India because of this political turmoil. So the companies are not going to Bihar, job opportunities are not there in Bihar. People are migrating from Bihar to rest of the country and to outside the country also. So this is an example. Why we study marketing environment? Because marketing environment tells us about how to adjust your business in accordance with the changes in the environmental forces which are sometimes beyond our control. Is this point clear to everyone? Hello?
Clear, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
So
sir. Yes.
okay. So when we would like to define the concept of marketing environment, we must understand some definitions given by some famous authors. As Philip Kotler, the father of modern marketing management, has given the definition as a company's marketing environment consists of the actors and the forces outside of the marketing that affect the marketing management ability to build and maintain successful relations with the target customers. So whenever you are going and serving your customers, these environmental forces or these actors or these external forces sometimes create a barrier for you to serve your customers and to create that particular brand equity. So marketing environment is really very important. Place to place, the marketing environment will be differed. For example, if you want to do a business in Egypt, then in that case you have to follow their culture first of all. If any tourist is visiting Egypt, they are welcoming all the tourists, but then the tourist cannot wear the shorts. They have to respect all the monuments and all the artifacts and all the historical places. Whenever they are visiting such kind of places, they have to obey all the guidelines. And similarly, whenever they are dealing with any particular transactions, at that time they have to deal with their Egyptian currency. They cannot deal with in Indian rupee, or else they can just deal in with the universal accepted currency, that would be a US dollar. So these are such kind of examples. These examples will tell you as to how the environmental forces play a very pivotal role in influencing the overall marketing strategies. So Philip Kotler has very clearly defined that it is the company's marketing environment that consists of actors and the forces, the players outside the marketing, because these players are not from the company itself. They are outside the company, they are outside your organization, and you have no control over that. And these are affecting your marketing management's ability to build and to maintain successful relations with the target customers. For example, if your company is having a very good policy of just giving 100% satisfaction to the customers, but your company is not updating with the changes in the technology, next time whenever the customer would visit, whenever the customer would engage with you, he would expect that you are following the advanced technology. And when you don't have that advanced technology in the process or in serving the customer through any product or service, that time the customer will turn out dissatisfied. So you need to constantly upgrade and adapt to the changing environmental forces. Otherwise, you will be out of the competition. Simply by giving an example of McDonald's, I will try to explain you how McDonald's have changed their entire business strategy when they came to India. McDonald's is a very famous fast food chain in India today. It was brought in to India by Hardcastle Restaurant Private Limited. That is a franchisee which owns near about 70 to 80% of the McDonald's chains in India. Now, when they entered in India, McDonald realized the eating habit of the Indian consumers are totally different as compared to the outside consumers. By understanding that, McDonald had changed their entire business strategy. First of all, by introducing the Mac Aloo Tikki burger for the very first time in their menu, which is nowhere in practice being offered to the customers by the McDonald chains. So if you look at India, this is only in India McDonald is serving the customers with Mac Aloo Tikki, because the vegetarian lovers, they love eating this particular veg burger and the Mac Aloo Tikki. So they had incorporated the taste of the Indian consumers in their product, and that is how they became successful. But at the other end, the other competitor KFC, the full name is Kentucky Fried Chicken, entered in India. They had started with their non-veg burgers and the non-veg fast foods, but ultimately they got failed because they were serving only the pork and beef in their non-veg menu. And in India, people are having lot of reservations for pork and beef. There are two major religions in India. The first one is Hinduism, and the second one is Islamic. In case of Hindu, they don't like eating the beef because it is against their community's beliefs and value system. At the same time, the Islamic or the Muslim people, they don't like eating the pork because it is against their customs and values. And this KFC was serving the customers with pork and beef menu options only. And due to that, in just 3 years of entering in India, they had exited because they had incurred huge losses in the business. Because of the same reason, the company had learned from the success of McDonald's, and they had launched the veg menu options in India. Simultaneously, they had changed the entire non-veg option by introducing the chicken menu in this particular non-veg menu option and replacing it with the pork and beef menu, because they knew that if they continue to serve the customers the pork and beef related fast foods, the customer will never come to their particular outlets. So that is how the example is there. So these were the external forces. Because of that, the companies had to change their marketing strategies altogether. The next example of the same company is that wherever you go in any McDonald's chain across the globe, you will find that they don't have the place to sit inside the store. You can only take away your meal and can have it outside. But here in India, McDonald's knew that Indian consumers love to eat at the place while sitting. So they had changed their entire business strategy by making the place conducive for their consumers to sit and have their meals. So this sitting option, when you go and enter in the McDonald's chain, you place an order. When you get the order, you sit over there. Sometimes if you are not taking a takeaway or a parcel, you sit over there and you enjoy your meals. This facility is not available in rest of the world in the chains of MACD. That is how the business strategy is. The company is adapting to the strategies based on the customer's preferences, the demographic characteristics, the other political, environmental, and socio-cultural forces, and obviously the technological forces also. So these are the examples which I have given. Other example is in Indore recently, a businessman had opened a hotel which is having an attraction in the form of robots, because the robots are serving the customers the foods. And then once the food is being served, they are taking the feedback also, and they are making the customer very happy by singing a song for them, by delighting the customer, by exchanging in some particular conversation. So this is how the company has introduced this particular technology in the form of robots. So the customers are also very delighted. Other companies are also following up the same. So technological part is very common. Service industry and manufacturing industries have to adapt with the changing technology. Otherwise, their products or the services will become obsolete. So that is how the importance of understanding marketing environment is. Is that point clear to everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So until now you have understood why marketing environment is important and what is actually meant by marketing environment. So now let us move ahead and understand the levels of environment. So when we talk about the levels of environment, it is divided into basically two main levels. The first level is micro environment, that is also called as the internal environmental forces, and the second one is called as macro environment level, which is also called as the external environmental force. There is third environment also, which is not in your syllabus, but it is being understood and perceived by the industry. It is called as a meso environment. This meso environment is not in your syllabus. So whenever the question of environment is asked, you have to just describe the micro and macro level environment. When we talk about the meso environment, that is something else which I am covering right now, so that next time when you go in corporate world, you should be familiar with such kind of concepts. So let us understand what micro environment is. As I said, micro environment means internally or the microscopic picture of the organization is clear with the help of understanding of micro environment. So micro environment is the small force within the company that affects its ability to serve its customer. These are the controllable forces because these are in the control of the management. The management can do the control of such kind of things if it is not in that particular order, and that is how it is called as a micro environment level. But the companies are not very much concerned about micro environmental forces because they can very well adapt and they can very well adjust to it. The companies are mostly concerned on the macro environmental forces because these are the external environmental forces over which the companies has no control. For example, the policies, rules and regulations of any country will decide what would be the particular ratio when the company wants to go for joint venture, when the one company wants to acquire any particular business, and when the company wants to do business in India. So macro environmental forces will come into play. Micro environmental forces can be very well adjusted because it is in the control of the management. So macro environmental forces are the larger societal forces that affect the micro environment. So whatever the external environmental forces are there, for example, COVID pandemic has resulted in closure of many businesses. It has also resulted in constrained timing of working of many business organizations. The government was not allowing the public to travel freely, and that is how the work from home culture was encouraged by not only the IT companies but also by the manufacturing sector companies, other service industries as well. So this is an example. Because of the macro environmental changes, because of the laws, rules and regulations, the companies had shifted from offline culture to online culture. Many such meetings are taking place online, which were earlier conducted on offline mode. So because of the macro environmental changes, the companies have changed their entire business strategies today. Earlier, the companies were mostly focusing on the retail stores because retail stores contribute to the huge revenues to the organization, and they were very key aspect to the supply chain network. But today the companies are mostly focusing on making aware about their particular products, creating a brand identity, creating a brand awareness on online stores, because they know that almost 60 to 70% of the consumers today are doing shopping online, except a few things like, for example, grocery, the necessity goods. Most of the consumers are doing shopping in an online mode. The support which is being provided in the form of UPI payment, in the form of credit cards, in the form of debit card payments, and in the form of EMI payment has fueled the growth of online economy in India. So this macro environmental change has resulted the companies to shift their strategy, shift their focus from the offline stores to the online stores. Most of the companies, most of the brands today, they are giving more attention to the online stores and creating online visibility as compared to offline visibility. So this is an example. Now let's talk about the meso environment. Meso environment is basically the industry in which a company operates and the industry's overall markets. So here we are talking about the markets of the industry. If you are selling clothes, then in the apparel industry, what is the trend? What is the particular demand? What is the growth? Where are the markets? All these things will determine your market growth, will also determine your potential to remain in the marketplace. It is also going to determine your future revenues and the profit goals. So all these things comes under the meso environment. Although they are the part of macro environment and micro environment forces, but meso environment these days are considered separately by many industrialists and many economists. And for that reason only, I have discussed this meso environment separately for you. Now, when you look at the meso environment, it is significant because it shapes the framework of a business or an organization and can be considered as its infrastructure, because the policies of the industries, the standard operating procedure of the industry, the rules, regulations, and guidelines will affect the business growth very much. For example, Volkswagen is a very well known brand. Volkswagen had tried to launch their electric vehicle in India in 2012, but that particular model could not be launched in India because of the rules and regulations by the SIAM, which is called as the Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers. Subsequently, the ban was uh, made by another organization which is called as ARAI, Automotive Research and Association of India. They do all the research and development activities associated to the automobile industry. If any vehicle is to be launched in India, they have to first pass the test of ARAI. And if Automotive Regulatory Authority of India gives them the green signal, then only those vehicles will ply on the road. Those vehicles otherwise will never run on the road if they have not got the permission from ARAI. And in India, there are 12 different branches of ARAI. In Pune also there is ARAI in Pod Road. So they do all the sound testing, the safety testing, the noise level testing, and all other testings which are related to the prescribed standards for a given automobile segment. So if it is a two-wheeler which has to be launched in India, they have to first pass the test of ARAI, and for that the ARAI will demand for minimum 50 to 60 random vehicle which are being produced in different batches. They will do random testing across all the 12 centers in India, and once they qualify, once the tests are clear, then only the ARAI gives you the permission to further run those vehicles on the road. The latest example of halting the launch of the vehicle is of Bajaj Qute. Bajaj wanted to launch this Qute model ahead of Tata Nano in India. But Tata Nano was launched and Bajaj Qute was not launched because Qute was not considered under the segment of car. The Qute, which has been launched recently, it is considered as a quadricycle. And in India, there are no rules and regulations by the Motor Vehicle Act or by the RTO for the quadricycle. Now, what is quadricycle? Let us understand first. Quadricycle is that segment of a four-wheeler which cannot classify under the heading of car because of its less weight. And for that reason, the quadricycles are not there in India because of the conditions of Indian road. They doesn't allow such kind of quadricycles to run. So it took around 3 to 4 years of by Bajaj company to do continuous testing, to do the particular further improvement in the particular quadricycle so that they can be eligible for this particular launching. And today you can see the Qute quadricycle in the market. This particular Qute is having the engine of Pulsar 220cc, and it is having the gears in the front on the just below the dashboard, and the top speed of this vehicle is 85 kilometers per liter. It consumes about 35, sorry, it consumes about 1 liter of petrol after running for every 35 kilometers. And it is also considered as one of the most green vehicle in the world because it just emits only 60 grams of carbon after burning 1 liter of fuel. So it runs on petrol, and this version is already available in the market. You can further do the googling and you can understand why the quadricycle delay had occurred in India. So that is because of the industrial environment. The industry was not supporting it because in India, neither the CM was having any clue, nor the Motor Vehicle Act, nor the RTO was having any rules and regulations for successful launching of such kind of product. Is that point being clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us now understand the characteristics of environment. When we talk about environment, today the environment is VUCA, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. It is also called as a VUCA world. Nothing is certain. Today, companies are doing a business. Tomorrow, the government may announce another lockdown for certain period. Again, the businesses will suffer because they may not be having that free
Two.
working conditions, and that is the reason the environment has to be studied. And environment doesn't remain constant, it is always vibrant, it is always dynamic in nature, and environment is very specific for a given market segment. The first point talks about the specific nature of environment. It means if you go in rural market, the environment is entirely different. Let's take an example of a smartphone company. If it is Samsung, they will never keep the expensive gadgets like Samsung Watch or the high-end smartphones of Samsung, that is the Galaxy series, in the rural market because they know that the rural consumers have different kind of requirements. Even though some of the rural people are techno savvy, but they will be always price sensitive. Rural people will not invest in a smartphone which costs near about 50,000 or 60,000 bucks. That is the reason if you go into rural market today, you will find mostly the dealers and all the stockists, they are keeping handsets which are relating to the income level of the people living in that particular area. So it means the environment is specific for that given market. It will not define the environment for the rest of the country. If you go in the posh areas of Pune, for example, if you go in Mumbai, if you go in Bangalore, you will find that the income level of the people is substantially on a higher level. And that is how people are ready to afford such kind of luxury things and such type of gadgets. And that is how most of the cell phone dealers over here in PCMC area, you will find that they are keeping expensive handsets also, because the environment is conducive to the selling of such type of products in the market. Now, if you look at it, the market is really very complex. If you take the entire example of Pune, area to area, the product requirement, the service related requirement will be different. If you consider the posh areas like Koregaon Park, Kalyani Nagar, Bane, Bavdhan, Viman Nagar, the overall tendency of the people to go for the services or to take the products will be entirely different as compared to Dehu Road, as compared to Rawet, as compared to some parts of the Pimpri and Chinchwad area, because of the difference in the culture, subculture, the overall orientation, the overall background, and all these factors make environment very complex. It is very difficult to predict the movement or the changes in the environment over a period of time. Until and unless it is evident, you cannot predict what is going to be the future. You can just imagine that in 2000 nobody has imagined about calling on a phone using video calling facility, but today it has become a very normal thing. Tomorrow some other technology will come. Some great manufacturing companies in the smartphone segments have already started with the concept phone, which they are going to launch by 2027 or 2028, wherein you will not be carrying any smartphone in your hand. You will be just having this particular hand. It will be having the inbuilt chip and the inbuilt speakers that will perform the function of a phone. And then by doing this, you can just simply make a call to anyone who is connected on internet. So such kind of evolution is going to come, and it is going to come at a very fast rate. These smartphones will become entirely outdated. So today, even if they are very much advanced, tomorrow they will become obsolete. So that is how we can say that the environment is very complex. Now let's talk about the culture and subculture part. If you see in India, the eating habits, the preferences, the clothing habit, everything changes when you change that particular state, when you change the place. For example, if you go in Kerala, they are fond of eating rice because rice is a staple food over there. You will be getting idli, dosa, sambar, medu vada, or amti, and all such kind of similar food stuff related to rice products only. But if you come to Pune, the eating habits are slightly cosmopolitan because of migrants, because of the people coming from other states. You will find everything over here in Pune. But if you consider the specific culture of Maharashtrians, they will be fond of eating thali peet, they will be fond of eating dhokla, khaman. Sometimes they will be also fond of eating that particular puran poli. So that is how the culture is. So if you look at the festivals, the single festival is being celebrated in different ways in different parts of the country. For example, Lodi. So on the same day, there is a Pongal, there is another festival. So then there is Makar Sankranti also. So when you talk about the same day on the same occasion, it is being celebrated by different castes, different creeds, different culture group people in a different manner. And that is how the environment is very complicated. It cannot be simply stated in just two lines. For understanding environment, you need to understand the environmental forces. As I said, environment is very vibrant. Vibrant means it is highly dynamic in nature. One moment it will get changed totally. Other moment it will be against the particular business. On some other moment it will be totally favorable to the business. So time to time you need to check with the environment and you have to adjust your business. Uncertainty is always there because you cannot predict the future in an absolute manner. You cannot just simply predict 100% of the accurate future. And then finally, the relativity. Whatever is happening today, it is having a relativity with the environment. And that is how the environmental forces are very important to be studied and to be understood. These are the characteristics of environment that makes environment a very important subject for you all as a marketing specialization or a non-marketing specialization student. You will be going through with such kind of marketing environment in the future also when you would be working under some companies under a particular project. You will find that because of the environmental changes, time to time the companies are changing their strategies. Is that point clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
How about others? I request everyone to please participate. At least you can give me the feedback orally. Otherwise, it appears that I'm just talking to my screen. Any doubts?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No,
Okay.
sir.
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
Thank you so much for responding me. Now let us understand need for analyzing the marketing environment. Why should we study the marketing environment? As a marketing student, as a person in the corporate world, as a manager, as a leader, marketing environment is very important. And for you, why it is essential? That is, I'm going to explain with the help of the following points. First is it's an ongoing process. You must understand that marketing environment is never static in nature. It will keep on changing. It will never remain static on a given particular point. Could you please mute yourself? Okay. So when I talk about this particular marketing is governed by the environmental forces, and that is how we need to study the marketing environment. As I said, marketing is a vibrant process, or it is very vibrant because it keeps on changing. It is complicated in nature. It is uncertain. It is always volatile. That is how you need to study because time to time you need to change your product offerings. Let's take an example of the roadside vendors. What they do is whenever there is any change in the season, they have their products ready. During the season of Valentine, they are having roses in their hand. When there is 26th of January, they are mostly selling the national emblems and the national flags. When there is Holi, the same people are selling you the colors. When there is Diwali, again they are selling you some particular decorative items, or sometimes they are selling you something which is useful at the time of your particular festival. So these roadside vendors are giving you the best classical example when they are changing their products with the change in the environment. You cannot simply sell the same product to the customers across all the weathers. Now let's take an example of the clothing companies. Clothing companies have their particular apparels suiting to a particular weather or suiting to a particular season, and in a year they are having 6 to 7 seasons now. For every season, they have their particular apparels so that they can attract the potential customers. So, marketing environment is an ongoing process. It reinforces the productive strategic plans and policies. Whatever you want to do in the business, that is being reinforced by the marketing environment only. And marketing environment just creates sometimes a positive impact or sometimes it creates a negative impact on the business, and that is how you need to constantly update your strategies for making your marketing activities very successful. The next point is it helps the business finding its strengths, doing the SWOT analysis. Sometimes some companies take advantage of the situations. Some businesses take advantages of the situations while some other not. I'll give you an example of COVID pandemic once again. During the time when the lockdown was declared by the state government, it was very strictly implemented. At that time, the middlemen, the small shopkeepers, they were finding it very difficult to survive because of lack of resources. So they had started selling vegetables. Most of the photocopy shops, most of the photo shops which used to do the photo sessions for you had started selling vegetables in my area in Viman Nagar because the rent was very high, and at the same time the survival was also a very big question mark. So all the strategic plans were reinforced and they had again conducted the sort for their business They had come up with this new product just because they knew that for this product, the government will not give them any particular restrictions. During the time of lockdown, only the milkmans, the essential supplies, the medical facilities, and vegetables, such kind of things, were allowed to be sold to the customers. The rest, other things were totally closed. So, marketing environment had really helped the companies, really helped the customers to identify the business opportunities. There is another example during the COVID pandemic situation only. One of my alumni had started selling vegetables in a packet that was costed rupees 200, and in that 200 rupees the entire parcel was given to the families, which was having vegetables which can be consumed easily by 4 members of a family for the entire week. So they had contacted all the farmers. Farmers were facing the problem of supply chain management because all the transportations were put on a halt and they were not able to sell their produce in the market. So these people, these small organizations, big organizations, they had directly contacted the farmers. They had made the assortment of the vegetables and sold it to the end customers at a profit. So such kind of things have really occurred during the time of COVID pandemic when there was a lockdown period. So the companies, some of the companies had identified that they are very weak in terms of following the rules and regulations. So they had decided to keep their businesses closed. Some of the companies, they have shifted from offline culture to the online culture. IT companies are the best examples. They had given their particular rented facilities to the same owner, and by doing that they have saved huge amount of cost which was incurring by meeting all such kind of overheads and all such kind of operating expenses. Today these companies are allowing their employees to work from home, and by thereby they are saving around 60 to 70% of the cost which used to be incurred in the form of transportation, in the form of welfare like canteen facility and other similar facilities like crèche, the daycare system. All these facilities were offered by most of the companies which today does not exist because the employees are working from home and they are using their own electricity. For that, some of the companies are also making reimbursement for the expenses, but it is very less in comparison to the expenses which used to be incurred at the time when the same employee used to work on his particular cubicle in the office premises. So all these things are a great example as to how the companies have done the SWOT. SWOT is called as strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat or challenges analysis. By doing that, you will understand how your strengths will lead to opportunities for you and how your weaknesses will create challenges for you in the business. The next thing is why we study marketing environment, because it helps a business to improve their decision making process. The business organizations cannot improve the decision making process if at all they are not understanding the changes in the marketing environment. So they need to constantly update with the changes in the marketing environment so that they can better serve their customers, whether online or whether offline. Is that point clear to everyone? The need of understanding the marketing environment. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Okay. So let us now understand the 5 steps of environmental scanning. When you want to do the environmental scanning, these are the 5 steps which are to be followed, and these are the very crucial steps for every organizations. If they follow the steps, they will understand the changes in the environmental forces. Accordingly, they will be able to adapt their business offerings for the customers and can generate revenues and profits for the organization. So the first step under environmental scanning is identification of the needs and the issues. Time to time, the consumer needs are changing. Earlier, customers were having a different need. The need was, for example, transportation. So the needs were fulfilled by offering vehicles, transportation vehicles to the customers. Today's need is entirely different. Customers are having specific wants, and the wants are driving in a luxury car, driving in a sedan, driving in a hatchback, driving in a two-seater convertible car, driving in an electric vehicle. So these are the needs which are changing over a period of time. In case of automobile vehicle, I have just given you the example. Now let's see in case of apparel. For example, in case of jeans. Earlier in 1980s, 1990s, the trend was wearing a bell-bottom jeans. Then came the trend for high-waist jeans. Then came the trend for the mid-waist jeans. Then subsequently, the consumers have shifted from mid-waist to the low-waist. In some ultra-modern cities and in some ultra-modern nations, there is a trend of ultra-low-waist jeans. You can Google it and you will find it out what these ultra-low-waist jeans are. Another example is torn jeans. During my time, when the jeans used to get torn, we used to throw it off because we used to get embarrassed wearing a torn jeans in the occasion. But today, the torn jeans have become a fashion. The companies are selling the torn jeans wherein the customers are buying it at a very high price. Examples are Jack and Jones, the Levis, the Flying Machine. The range is starting from 7,000 rupees onwards. If you look at the torn jeans of Diesel, their torn jeans are starting from 40,000 rupees onwards. So that is how the trend is. So the need and wants and the issues are changing over a period of time. In 2019, nobody had thought that one day they will be going out by wearing a mask. But today, mask has become a part and parcel of your life. The sanitizers have become a part and parcel of your life. Tomorrow it may not be there with you, but until now it is there as a part and parcel of your life. So you need to understand as a marketer what are the needs and the issues prevailing in the given marketplace. Then you have to gather the information from various sources. That could be either from your middleman or from your channel partners. That would be your suppliers, the middleman, the carrying and forwarding agents, the dealers, the stockists, the distributors, and so on. Or you can collect the feedback directly from the customers, or you can collect the feedback through some survey. By doing that, you will be able to analyze the information. If you don't have the right information, you will not be able to analyze it. So the third step is analyzing the information. For analyzing the information, you need to have all the informations with you pertaining to the competitor, pertaining to your product, pertaining to the customers, pertaining to the market, pertaining to the business, pertaining to the suppliers, and so on and so forth. So when the company is doing the analysis of all the information, what they are doing is they're trying to understand what environmental forces are into play, how the business is getting affected because of the changes in the environment over a given period of time, and then communication of the results obtained in step 3. Whenever you scan the environment, you gather the information, you analyze it, whatever the results are there, that you communicate across all the channel members, across all the key people, those who are having direct interest or indirect interest vested in the company. These are called as the stakeholders. So results are communicated and then making the informed decision. When you want to change the work timings, you need to first tell the reason to your employees as to why you want to change the work timings. That will be possible only when if you gather the information related to the competitors, related to the customer needs and the key issues. After that, you will be able to communicate it to the proper stakeholders. This way, you will be able to make more informed decision. So environmental scanning constitutes of these 5 steps. I repeat it once again for you. Identification of the needs and the issues. The second is gathering the information. The third one is analyzing all the information. The fourth one is communication of the result obtained in analyzing all the information. And the final step is making the informed decision. Is there any doubt with anyone? You may please ask. Any doubts so far?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much. So tomorrow I'm going to start with microenvironment. To understand microenvironment, these are the factors which are contributing to the company's microenvironment. These are the company, suppliers, marketing intermediaries, the competitors, the public, and the customers. So we will try to understand the various elements and the forces of microenvironment and macro environment of a company. This session is now open for your question and answers. If you have any doubts, you may please ask. Otherwise, you are requested to give me the feedback of this today's session. Thank you so much. You are requested to kindly share with me your feedback. Let me understand whether you have understood it or not. If there are any doubts, you may please ask. Thank you. Somebody has to take the initiative.
Thank you, sir. It
No,
was
sir,
great.
no doubts.
Thank you. It was great session.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
sir.
Thank you. How about others? Suraj, Kunal, Mohit,
The
Vijay.
session was excellent, sir, as always.
The examples are clear to you? Examples are clear?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
Preeti,
Yes, sir.
Preeti,
Clear.
Yes,
I
sir.
can see you mute. Please speak up something. Abhishek, Suraj Mahadik, Asmita Howard, Gaurav, Karthik, Rahul Jadhav, Monica. Your
Clear, sir.
feedback is really very important for me because I'm not simply talking to the screen. When I'm interacting with you, your feedback gives me the motivation to come up with more enthusiastic lectures with more number of realistic examples for you. So in both way it is beneficial. On one side I get motivated to bring in more examples. On other side you get lot of examples to be discussed under a particular topic. So this is how I keep my sessions alive. Thank you so much for being in my session. Tomorrow, same time, most probably, same place, we will have this second session on marketing environment. Till then, thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye bye.
Thank you,
Thank you.
sir. Bye,
Bye bye.
sir.
Thank
Bye
you
bye.
so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Are you?